offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc.
Hey guys, welcome. Make sure you like the video. If you're new here, subscribe. I pinned at the top of the chat a link to my Marco Polo group, which is a really cool group. I'll talk more about it as the show goes on. But it's a place where you can, it's a Brian Craig fans group. You can leave video or audio messages. There's a great community there. And it's really a channel that I set up. Actually, my wife Kathy set it up. But it's a channel we set up so that, you guys can have your own space to talk. Although I'm in there too. I just put a video up this morning there. But the link is pinned right at the top of the chat.
Listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE. And now.
Hey guys, welcome to the program. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Indeed, it is. Oh, man. And we got a lot to talk about today. It's 4 minutes after 6. Well, actually, just turned 5. 5 minutes after 6 o'clock. And if you're listening live. And, of course, this is the most important Steve Kane show of the week because this is not just our live morning drive edition. We're live weekdays from 6 until 9 a.m. And we also have an overnight rebroadcast 7 nights a week from midnight till 6 a.m. And that's 7 nights a week, so and on all of our radio stations. Oh, excuse me. Oh, my goodness. I apologize. Turning the Neil Rogers show there. My apologies. Oh, my goodness. But we're on the air midnight till 6 on all of our platforms, our radio stations, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. So we always want to make sure the Friday show is the best because of the overnight rebroadcast just on our radio stations, our AM and FM radio stations. The Friday edition of the Steve Kane Show runs a total of 35 times. That's right, 35 times before we return to you live Monday morning at 6 a.m. So we always want to make sure the Friday show is the best, and we got a lot to talk about on today's program. Did you guys catch Tucker Carlson last night? I'm going to talk about Tucker Carlson, and he picked up on a story that I had yesterday here on the program, doing a little show prep for Tucker Carlson. I do appreciate that honor. But he was talking about General Milley Vanilli there, Milley with the critical race theory, and he went after General Milley in a way that I think was well-deserved. We're going to talk about that. He's getting a lot of heat. It's so interesting when you watch things, because I was watching Tucker Carlson last night, and I saw the whole thing that he did on General Milley, which was right on the money, every bit of it. It's basically what Steve and I did in the 8 o'clock hour of yesterday's program. And I didn't think anything was controversial from Tucker's viewpoint. I thought General Milley was over the line and it was pretty outrageous. I didn't think anything of it when I watched Tucker last night. I thought, yeah, he's, no controversy there. And then this morning, I'm up doing my show prep, and I go on the Twitter to see what's trending, and I saw Tucker, just Tucker, not Tucker Carlson, Tucker. See, he's becoming like Geraldo, Cher, Madonna, known by his only one name, which is really amazing, isn't it? I mean, that's when you've really hit the fame. But trending on Twitter right now is Tucker. I'm like, oh, what happened with Tucker? I watched the show last night. I didn't think there was anything all that controversial. What's going on? And I click it, and boom, Twitter, all of a sudden, the leftists on Twitter have respect for the military. You know, the people that called them baby killers in Vietnam, accused them of being war criminals in Iraq. You know, you can make a long list. All of a sudden, the left are lovers of our military and want to defend them till the end. And are attacking Tucker Carlson for attacking the general, accusing him of attacking the... So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to play some of the audio of Tucker last night and what he said and did, and we'll talk about the controversies of that. I watched a lot of the local news. WSVN, Channel 7, out of Miami, is, I believe, the best news station ever in the history of local news, Channel 7, WSVN. And I miss it a lot because many years ago, 17 years ago, I left Broward, went to Palm Beach, and we don't get Channel 7, WSVN, in Palm Beach. But through the beauty of the internet and apps, I downloaded the app for it and was watching them live stream on my TV all day and night yesterday, except during Tucker, with the building collapse. And my goodness, that building, they say it's been sinking since the 90s. So I don't know. I heard a lot of people talking about lawsuits. I don't know if the people responsible for it are still around to sue, but I do know this, that everyone's talking about suing. I think some people should be charged with manslaughter. If what we are hearing about this building collapse in Miami is true, that's a murder. Whoever, because I saw this thing today, yesterday. There was a professor from Florida International University, FIU, in Miami, apparently said, I saw him say yesterday that the building's been sinking since, he even had an exact measurement, been sinking since the 90s, early 90s, since Clinton was with Lewinsky. They've known it's been sinking since then. And most of the people that have places in that building have probably moved in since then. That's a long time ago, right? We're talking like 30 years ago. And I imagine they were not told that the building that they were moving into was sinking into the sand on the beach. So whoever, remember yesterday we were talking about hooks? This is an example of that. We don't usually show you how the sausage is made, but I'm just kind of, like yesterday, remember I told you there was not much to talk about with the collapse on talk radio because there was no hook. We didn't really know too much other than it was a tragedy. What I'm sharing with you now is an example of a hook behind the scenes, okay? But whatever individuals knew that this building had been sinking for these many, many years and did not tell the people that were living there, they're killers. I don't know if it's manslaughter or murder 1, 2, or whatever the different degrees are. I don't know. But this is beyond lawsuit time. We're in a mode now where we are into what I believe killer time. Okay, those people did not die in an accident. They were murdered. Whoever has died in that building. And if you've got the latest, have they rescued anyone else? I still saw the latest said just about an hour ago. It was the last time I checked. 99 still missing. And I don't know if that's a snowbird building or not. So I do not know if how many people were in that building. I don't know if anybody knows, but it's god-awful. And I want to hear some names. Who knew? And now I think it's time to start doing that. Who knew that building was sinking all these years? And what did they do? I know. I'm not a high-rise guy. Oh, my goodness. I would not want to live in a high-rise. Well, main reason I wouldn't want to live in a high-rise, I would be, I wouldn't. When my wife and I first got married, we briefly lived in a place just for like a couple of months that was on the 5th floor, and we had a cat, and he walked out on the ledge of the window, and we got him out. That was it for me on high-rises. I like to be on the ground. But, so I don't know about I'd be worried about my pets high up. I've never liked these high-rises, especially on the beach. But there is some major cover-up. I don't know if it's government people. I don't know if it's private people. I don't know if it's people in the real estate business down there in that area. But I bet you a whole bunch of people knew that building was sinking for the past 30 years, which means it was unsafe. So, yeah, I know. It's god-awful, isn't it? It really is terrible. Oh, my goodness. And all I'm hearing people talk about is who are they going to sue? Well, that'll come if there's anybody to sue. But we need to find out who's responsible. There are people that are responsible for the deaths in that building. And, this one professor, I heard several stories citing this professor yesterday that knew that the building had been sinking since the 90s. I am sure that he reported this because he documented it. He had exact measurements. So, listen, we've got Ron DeSantis in Florida. He's on top of all of this, I promise you. But my first stop would be to that professor. I would like to know when he made his report, when he made his measurements, and what he did with them and who he gave them to. That would be my first stop. I'd also go to the local inspectors and all those people in the area and find out what was going on there. I mean, there is a trail of murder in Miami. And I'm surprised no one's calling it out for that yet. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO, Kane, 1-888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take this break on time. I've had 3 bottles of water today, and I've already had my big, tall, venti-size cup of coffee. So I got to make a run for the, you know what I'm talking about, right? So I got to take the break a little early, but it'll be quick. And then we'll be right back, okay? Oh, my goodness. All right, listen, my name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Checked the temperature. Be right back, guys. Before I left, the high today is going to be almost 90 degrees. I'm going to start my 4th bottle of water when I get out. Hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioner is just running nonstop, fighting to keep the house cool. A lot of times the air conditioner can't even keep up with the heat gain. You know, like you'll have the temperature set in your house at 74, and you'll look at the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
Yeah.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radiant barrier in South Florida for 10 years. I mean, we did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radiant barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the AC runtime in half, and a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, with a shingle or tile, shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, even 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling. It heats them up, and it makes your air conditioner work longer, harder, causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. If you're just joining us, make sure you like the video.
So it doesn't damage the roof. And it basically just turns the heat wave that comes down off the roof around and pushes it back up off the roof. So it makes your roof function.
I know what sailors and Marines call the bathroom. Hit the head.
They put them on because it cuts.
My dad's a Marine.
25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in.
Well, what you learn in radio more than anything is how to go to the men's room lickety split. I mean, you don't have time. You got to go to the men's room during a commercial. This is a long commercial, but I could play one of our short commercials and be here and back. Now listen, I put a link there at the top to my Marco Polo group. Check that out. It's really cool. It's a free app. Okay, there's a paid version. You don't need the paid version. I don't have the paid version myself, okay? And it's a really cool community I set up, my wife set up, okay, Brian Craig fans. And you can leave audio or video messages about anything you want. And if you go there and watch, you'll see what people are doing. My wife and I put videos up there too, and it's a really good community of people. So go check that out. I pinned the link right at the top of the chat. I'm going to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm going to give you his website and his number. If you missed this, it's listed at SteveKaneShow.com. First, you can give Scott a call at 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at SteveKaneShow.com. Awesome, Freedom Soup. Will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. I'll go to the phones here in just a moment, and we'll get into Tucker Carlson too. But I want to ask you guys something, because if we have any legal minds in this audience, I have a question for you guys. Okay, if people knew that that building was sinking, you don't have to be an engineer to know that it's dangerous and could collapse. If there were people who knew that this building in Miami was sinking all these years and did nothing but cover it up, what would be the crime committed? Is it murder? Is it manslaughter? Someone in the break in the YouTube live chat said involuntary manslaughter. I don't know. It seems to me that you would know such that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I cannot render a legal opinion on that. But I do know that there are individuals that killed everybody in that building who's dead. There's no doubt about it. There's no way in hell that a whole lot of people did not know that that building was sinking. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That is our number. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Brian. And the way people are putting it in YouTube chat is absolutely perfect. This is definitely a negligence issue on the part of the city.
Negligence sounds mild. You know, if you know that a high-rise building is sinking into the sand of Miami Beach and has been for 30 years, and you don't tell people, that's not negligence. That's like you're killing people.
Well, that's, curiosity, right? Curiosity killed the inspector, just like Epstein.
Is this 420?
Yes.
Oh, okay, you're high. That explains it. Okay.
But isn't it the responsibility of the person that owns the property to have pulled special permit and have city
I don't know. I'm getting bored with this call. All right, take care. Oh man, back to the bong. I'm just throwing that out. I don't know. A lot of people had to know. And I'll tell you, I was watching the part of the building that was still open, and I was watching the rescue crews that were sitting under that little parking garage area that were going inside the garage, and they were sitting outside, and there was like an aerial helicopter kind of view, and they were sitting there, and I was looking at the supports that on the part of the building that didn't collapse. Oh my goodness, that building looked like it was that does not look like a nice building. That is not, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But to me, something like that, a whole bunch of people had to know. That college professor, that professor from Florida International University, there is no way that this guy made measurements like that this building had been sinking since the early 90s and didn't tell people about it. There's no way in hell. I know they didn't tell the people that bought the places and that moved in there. Oh, by the way, this place is sinking. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Can you knock off a couple grand off the purchase price? Oh, sure. Okay. No, that didn't happen. All right. Anyway, now let's get into your thoughts on that. Are welcome. I want to hear your thoughts on that at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. All right. Now Tucker Carlson last night. Tucker Carlson last night with General Milley Vanilli. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Did Tucker Carlson go too far? And I don't mean did he go too far by calling out General Milley for what he is, a pig. I didn't like this guy. He threw the commander-in-chief, President Trump, under the bus over that church visit. He should have been fired. Truman fired MacArthur. MacArthur was, a huge hero of two conflicts. Right? The son of a Medal of Honor winner, and boom, he fired him. Truman, just like that. Now, again, he was a Democrat, and MacArthur was a Republican, so the media, was on Truman's side because they've always been Democrats in the media. But when General Milley criticized President Trump, he should have been fired on the spot, and you know what? Brought up on charges, because that is illegal. You do not have freedom of speech when you're in the service. Okay? So I didn't like this guy from the get-go. I didn't like him since then. And then he came out with this critical race theory crap that we played yesterday. I'll play some more of that again just to review because it's relevant to what we're talking about. When I asked the question, did Tucker Carlson go too far, I don't mean do you think he crossed the line by what he said with General Milley. He was right on the money. This guy is a pig. I don't know about stupid, because he knows how to play the game in Washington. But he's a pig. And he's a liberal. Okay? So Tucker was right in his analysis. Everything Tucker Carlson said about General Milley last night was accurate, right on the money, right? When I ask if he went too far, is this going to be the beginning of them bringing Tucker Carlson down? Tucker Carlson is the most hated man in media by people in media and people in the political establishment. Tucker Carlson has the same enemies that President Trump has. Okay? And when I saw, and as I said at 6, when I watched Tucker last night, I didn't even think of it as being a controversial thing. I thought, yeah, he's right. I didn't think too much of it, went to bed. And then when I saw that Tucker is trending on Twitter this morning, and I looked at what people were saying, they're attacking him for going after the military, going after the general. I've never heard liberals defend somebody in the service so much, except for Lieutenant Colonel Vindman and that traitor Bergdahl. So I have seen them defend traitors in the past. Okay, so maybe they're at least they're being consistent. But is this what the establishment and the media and the liberals that run Fox News Channel are going to use to bring Tucker back under control? I hope he does not apologize. I hope when he comes on the air tonight, he does not clarify his statements and walk anything back, because Tucker's a smart guy. He knows this. Once you apologize, once you start to put into context, once you do anything other than stand by yourself and state in your statements, you're done. Because what these creeps in the left do, any walking back, any explanation, any apology, these are not gentlemen. These are lowlifes. They take it as a confession. Oh, now you've confessed. Now we're going to sentence you to cancellation. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. I'm going to play a chunk of the segment, but I just play you the clip that has Twitter defending the military.
He's not just a pig, he's stupid.
Yeah. I think it's a very accurate statement.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He didn't get that job because he's brilliant or because he's brave or because the people who know him respect him. He is not, and they definitely don't. Milley got the job because he is obsequious. He knows who to suck up to, and he's more than happy to do it. Feed him a script, and he will read it. Here's Milley yesterday, the man in charge of this nation's weapons, explaining that he's working to understand a concept called white rage.
I do think it's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. And the United States Military Academy is a university.
Don't you like this? Now the military is a book club. A book club, that's what women do, okay? Any of you guys out there in any book club, straight guys, are any of you straight guys in book clubs?
And it is important that we train and we understand, and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building? And
I got to tell you, General Milley Vanilli here, I hope that catches on. General Milley Vanilli. Don't you guys like that? General Milley Vanilli. Fake singers. I don't care. I still like Milley. I think they're both dead now. Did the second guy, Milley Vanilli, pass away recently? Even after they were exposed, I liked Milley Vanilli. Blame It on the Rain. Underrated Milley Vanilli song. Blame it on the rain because the rain don't mind and the rain don't care. Blame it on the rain. Milley. I always wondered when Milley Vanilli, I saw them on interviews. I saw them on one interview in particular, which was on the weekend edition of Dick Clark's. Dick Clark did like a top 10 show every weekend. It was on television on Saturdays, and Dick Clark interviewed Milli Vanilli, and they had subtitles. And I was like, wow, those guys, they have subtitles. You can't understand them talk, but they sing so well. And I remember people saying, well, the Beatles don't have English accents when they sing, and Mel Tillis doesn't stutter when he sings. That's what it's like with Milli Vanilli. Okay. But anyway, let's get back to General Milli Vanilli.
And try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America. What caused that? I want to find that out. I want to maintain an open mind here, and I do want to analyze it. It's important that we understand that, because our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians, they come from the American...
Oh, now that's something new. Guardians, I think that's what they call the guys in Space Force. I think they're called Guardians. Because you hear they say at the end, Guardians, they got Space Force. You know, he's trying to understand white supremacy. See, this is a problem. You know, this chairman of the Joint Chiefs, I have never heard a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or a currently serving general in the regular military. I'm not talking about some reserve guy who's in government or something. I'm talking about like regular. I've never heard an officer in the military talk this way. Have you? In uniform? And what happened on January 6th, regardless of your opinion of it, was not white supremacist. It was something else. But I like how he's defined it that way. Nice guy.
It's important that the leaders, now and in the future, do understand it.
Hard to believe that man wears a uniform. He's that unimpressive. Notice he never defined white rage, and we should know what it is. What is white rage? Well, like drapetomania, it's one of those diseases that only affects people with certain...
See, now, Tucker Carlson, I'm not going to play this whole thing. He talked about drapetomania, which is a old condition that I've read about when I was in college. Okay? It's what they said that blacks who like to escape had. It was there were doctors, there were scientists who were the top doctors and scientists of the 1800s who diagnosed slaves who kept escaping as having drapetomania, which of course is absurd. And Tucker made a very good case at the beginning of his show about how what the liberals are doing, in particular black liberals are doing towards whites, is a very similar thing.
With certain melanin levels. It's a race-specific illness. That's what Mark Milley has learned from reading about it. That's why he's making his soldiers read about it too. They need to know. Watch.
I've read Mao Zedong. I've read Karl Marx. I've read Lenin. That doesn't make me a communist. So what is wrong with understanding, having some situational understanding about the country for which we are here to defend? And I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our commissioned, non-commissioned officers, of being, quote, woke.
He's not just a pig, he's stupid. So Mark Milley reads Mao to understand Maoism, he reads communist to understand communism, but it's interesting that he doesn't read white supremacists to understand white supremacy. Why not go to the source? Well, because Mark Milley would be fired instantly if he read those books, and getting fired is the one thing he doesn't want.
Okay, so that's, you know, so I think Tucker's analysis was spot on. The guy is a pig, and you know, he reads all these lefty commie books, doesn't read any conservative books to understand the MAGA movement. Right? He just decided that MAGA is a white supremacist organization. How about reading The Art of the Deal? How about reading, I don't know, anything from the great Regnery Publishing House reading list, Mark Levin, Hannity, Rush. They're not white supremacists, but if you want to understand MAGA, if you want to understand conservatives, Milley, read some conservative books. Why will he not read conservative books? I'll tell you why he won't read conservative books, because he's a left-wing hack, and you know, like many liberals that become conservatives and get red-pilled, if he starts to read Mark Levin and others, you know, Ben Shapiro, these books, he'll wake up and realize we're not what he wants us to see. It's okay for him to read these commie books. He probably agrees with a lot of what is in the commie books. But he doesn't read the conservative books because he wants to define us as white supremacist. And if he reads those books, his negative opinion of us will be destroyed, and he cannot allow that to happen. Oh my goodness. Scary. This is scary. And it seems to me that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs believes the greatest threat to the United States is not climate change, as Biden will tell you, but MAGA. Remember, I told you guys last year that the move that they were making, the political establishment, which includes the Republican establishment, right? The Liz Cheney, G.W. Bush, Mitt Romney, lowlives, the Democrats and the media, are on a mission to classify MAGA as a hate group, a white supremacist group, so they can outlaw it. And General Milley Vanilli here is showing you that that is where they are going. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on everything I brought up so far. I'm going to bring up some more topics after the break, too, because there is a lot going on. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's K-A-N-E and the number 1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break and be back right after this. Do not go anywhere.
Do you think contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now at Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now. And
hey, everybody.
It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line.
Go and check. I'm serious about this. This is important. And make sure that you are subscribed. Okay? Because I have heard, this happened before and it's happened again. It hasn't happened in a while, but it's starting to happen again. I was getting messages from people who says they've not been getting notifications when I go live or upload videos, and I told them to check to see if they were still subscribed, and some of them were not for whatever reason, so they resubscribed. So go and check and make sure that you are subbed to my channel if you don't mind.
955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009.
Mary Ellen, $10 super chat. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is
If everyone could thank Mary, that'd be awesome for that super chat.
And restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
The Steve Kane Show is
Coming back.
by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WKN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 37 minutes after 6. Yeah, listen to this story. This is in the Daily Mail. A report last year revealed the 12-story condo building that killed one and has left 99 missing. And we're really hoping that this was this is a snowbird kind of place and there aren't more people over there, but I hope that is not wishful thinking. A report last year revealed the 12-story condo building that killed one person and left 99 missing when it collapsed Thursday was sinking and possibly in dangerous condition before the horrific event, sparking questions if the tragedy could have been prevented and how to prevent similar collapses in the future. I know how you prevent this. When you find out a building is sinking into the sands of Miami Beach, you move everybody out, condemn the building, tear it down, and rebuild. That's how you tell people. So they're not in the building to collapse. Authorities have not yet determined what caused the building to collapse. Well, maybe that it's been sinking for 30 years. How about that? Authorities have not yet determined what caused the building to collapse, and Miami-Dade police have opened an investigation. Though the mayor says there's been no evidence of foul play. Oh my goodness. I saw the mayor on TV. I'm not going to attack him yet, but people knew the building was sinking. That is foul play. The report from last year was uncovered, as it was also revealed that recent construction work on the roof could have triggered the collapse, and that the building was due to have its safety recertified in just months. Simon Wiedał, it's a Polish name, very hard to pronounce here. Szymon Wiedałowski, I'm sorry, a professor in the Department of Earth and Environment at Florida International University in Miami, told the USA Today that he knew instantly which building had collapsed when he heard news reports, because he had studied the building for the report published last year. I looked at it this morning and said, oh my God, we did detect this, he said. His study was part of a wider look at how buildings in Miami were sinking generally with rising sea levels caused by climate change. Okay, so he's one of these lefty climatologists. But he still found out it was sinking, and he reported it. His study was part of a wider look at how buildings were sinking because of climate change. The Champlain Towers South Seaview condo development was built in 1981 by the late developer Nathan Reber's company, Natel Construction. The structure has not been updated significantly since then. Okay, it goes on and on. Okay, according to the Florida International University study, the building was sinking at a rate of about 2 millimeters a year in the 90s because it sits on reclaimed wetlands, which is all of Florida basically, which could have impacted the building structure. However, the rate could have slowed down or sped up since then, he says, adding to the Miami Herald that land's slow sinking alone would not have caused the building to collapse. It was a byproduct. Oh, no, he's just, Well, let's see about that. Oh my goodness, I'm sensing a lot of covering up here of people's tales. You know what they're going to find? They're going to find a whole bunch of people knew that building was sinking. And what the professor said was very interesting. When he heard a building had collapsed in Surfside, without knowing which building it was, specifically because he said it wasn't reported to him which building it was. He knew. He knew when he heard a building had collapsed in Surfside, he knew it was this one because of the study he did. There are a lot of people who are responsible for that. Now, this is Miami. Miami is corrupt. Okay? It's corrupt. Like all of Latin America. Miami's Latin America, people. And all of Latin America, sadly, is corrupt. It's a sad thing. And Miami's pretty corrupt. So I don't know if this is code enforcement, building inspectors, construction companies, local officials, but I want to know who had access to this report that FIU did that the building was sinking. I believe they killed those people. And I'll tell you what, another thing I didn't hear anyone talk about yesterday, if you go down there, I've been down in that area. I may go down there this weekend. So if you guys follow me on YouTube, if I can, I might go down there this weekend. I got a very busy weekend and some things to do, but I might go down there this weekend. But I know the area. I've been down there. The buildings are on top of one another because, And one thing I didn't hear anyone ask is, what about the nearby buildings? Are their structures safe with this building collapse? Because I don't want to get any loose change 9/11 conspiracy callers here, but I'm going to say something about 9/11, which is probably a mistake because then all the truthers will call in. I don't want any truther calls on 9/11, okay? But other buildings around the trade towers collapsed because when the World Trade Center towers collapsed, it caused a seismic event that weakened the foundation of the other buildings. That was a contributing factor to the collapse of other buildings around. Now, of course, this building's much smaller, but I'd like to know if the foundations of the nearby, I'd get the hell out of the other buildings. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near those buildings. Would you? No, they very well could have had their foundation. I don't know. I know I wouldn't want to live there. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, Brian. Robert, Kentucky.
Hey, Robert. What's up?
Yeah, just 2 points. It would be involuntary manslaughter because they did know that the building was dangerous, but they did not knowingly know that people would die.
Well, I don't know about that. If you have information that a building is sinking, right? If there's a high rise on the beach built literally on the sand, and you have information that it's sinking, would you not think, whoa, wait a minute, that building could collapse? I mean, I'm not an architect, I'm not an engineer, you know, but I don't need to know that it's dangerous.
There's a lot of people that are going to be held responsible in this. They're supposed to do inspections like at least once a year on every building.
I don't know, but I do know this, that there have to be a lot of people who knew it was sinking. A lot of people. This report was done. The purpose of this report was for the climate change scam, okay? And they're going to try to, you're going to see these, what they're going to try to do, it's already starting, they're going to blame climate change for the building sinking. The oceans are not rising, okay? The oceans are not rising. This is not climate change. This is just corrupt public... This is just corrupt public officials and greed.